Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very, very special episode of Kingdom Hearts, the Interstitial War. I'm your host, Nick Francia, at Nobleman Nick, and today I am joined by three exceptional guests. Let me introduce our Seekers of Darkness. Starting with Shigo.
Hello, I am Persephoros, and I will be playing Shigo today. I am a TTRPG content creator, video game streamer, a lot of other stuff. So you can find me at Persephoros everywhere online. I'm most active on Twitter and Twitch, and you can check out my D&D podcast, Fast Times at D&D High.
I'm Vanessa Hoskins. I am also a tabletop RPG author, mostly for Paizoverse stuff like Pathfinder and Starfinder. And I am going to be playing Envy. That's your turn.
Yes, that's my turn. Hello, everybody. My name is Rena, and I'll be playing as 2B tonight. I'm usually just streaming Vampire the Masquerade games, so this is one of the first streams that I'll be playing as something different. If you want to find me, I'm on Twitter and everywhere else, but I'm mostly active on Twitter at the Overlord.
All right. Our tale is a different one today. We are not joined by the main party. This is not a story of light. In fact, it's the exact opposite. The reverse, you could say. A story of darkness. Our tale tonight begins in a dark, barren, and rocky plain. Desert flats go on for miles, dust lingering in the air, discharging electricity like lightning strikes that frequently blanket the area. This desolate place is Exegol, a place lost to the realm of darkness within the deepest parts of the realm, where no person can find it, not even a seeker. That is, not without special equipment. That is, until now. As a portal hums to life, a rift cutting through the darkness, out steps three hooded figures, dropping their hoods in this realm of darkness, knowing that they will be safe, their identities kept. Tell me, Envy, how was the trip here?
Well, I had to suffer the presence of this pipsqueak, but at least 2B's got no personality. Anyhow, at least we're finally here. Time to win this war for the right side.
Ego, 2B, you've been dragged along from your businesses of checking out other worlds, destabilizing them in order to sink them into darkness. It's been simple jobs, easy for all of you. You haven't really done much other than follow these orders. The kind of excuse to come along with Envy and cut loose from a bit from your usual MO was too good to pass up. How do you both feel?
Annoyed. Yeah, it was fun causing wanton destruction with Envy, but you know what would be really great? If you stopped calling me Pipsqueak.
Sure thing, Pipsqueak.
Right, Chief. Listen, if you continue to call me Pipsqueak, you're the one that's gonna be cut down to size, sweetie.
You know, if you prefer, there's
Everyone,
always
please.
miserable human.
What'd you say, 2B? I can't hear you. I can never hear you. Speak up.
Everyone, please, we came here for a reason, right? Envy?
Right. So, there's a secret weapon here. I don't know precisely where, but it's on this wretchedly wonderful planet. So let's find it. Now if I was a super evil, terrible weapon, where would I be?
Looking out onto the horizon, Envy, you know that this land has been kind of broken apart due to it seeking deeper into the realm of darkness. And you were actually kind of sent here by your master, a person that you don't really know the identity of. The three of you don't either. And kind of looking out onto the dark horizon, seeing the static electricity kind of surge and flash, you can see a little dot on the horizon that seems to differ from the rest, looking to be some sort of structure.
Well, it's a starting place anyway.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Let's head there then.
Yep. Forward march. Whatever.
Follow me. You two are
Yes,
far too
follow.
fragile.
Fragile? You're calling
It's
me
not.
fragile? Shigo's going to activate her green glowing claws and just say, "Why don't we see how fragile you really are?"
Oh, you could try me, but we're in a hurry. And at that, Envy is just gonna take off, forcing the other
Fine.
ones to keep up with her.
Let's go.
Them.
They always say, you know, you have to work well with the people you do bad things with, but you never have to really like them. You're never forced to anyway.
That's for sure.
And Shigo, for you, this is business as usual.
Pretty much, yeah. Beats working for Draken. by a landslide. Several of them, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I am simply scanning the environment for any hostile.
As you scan 2B, you notice that the lightning is starting to get more concentrated, as if you were to head in closer to the kind of point and structure on the horizon. You can identify it not as a natural occurrence, but almost like a defense system, warning others that try to step near it that they will suffer the wrath of the storm if they try to get too close.
It seems that the storm, the lightning, is a defense system.
Well, I'd like to see them keep us out. Nothing's
We're
gonna
totally
stop
getting
me from getting
electrocuted,
this.
aren't we?
Nothing's gonna stop me from getting this weapon.
A weapon that you're not even too sure what it is, to be honest.
Not in the slightest, but if it wins me this war, it doesn't matter.
Do you even know what it is, Envy? You haven't exactly enlightened us.
You'll see.
The Sith
That's what you
Wayfinder.
always say.
The Sith Wayfinder in your hand, Envy, pulses. It's this triangular object that you had been able to steal from one of the Guardians last time you clashed with them. A victory that is fresh in your mind. Although you didn't do it alone, you had the help of another Seeker, Venom, who could not be here today. You were definitely the more contributing factor to the victory.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Yes.
easily shows you that the direction of the structure is where you need to go specifically. The compass locking on, if it wasn't already obvious enough.
Right. The Wayfinder is going to that building. Fantastic. Well, Envy's gonna make a beeline, and if the others aren't keeping up with them, they'll have to motivate the others.
Sounds good. So you're leading the charge. Already kind of forewarning the caution that 2B gave you about the lightning.
Yeah, trying to avoid it.
You will have to do some lightning dodges in order to kind of get through here. So I'm going to say, can you make me a limit break roll?
A limit break roll.
Which is going to be 2d6 plus light. However, for you, because you have Walker and Twilight, you can actually roll your dark skill for this, I believe.
I sure can. All right. I rolled a 7, so that's a total of 9.
Awesome. So, it's going to cost you. As you kind of dodge your way through the lightning, you're the first one to go through, so getting the pattern down is a little bit tough. I'm going to offer you a choice. Do you spend a link in order to avoid any consequences, or do you take a bit of harm?
Ooh, you know what? I'm feeling quite resilient. I'll take a bit of harm.
All right. The lightning singes you only for a moment as you get a little bit close. The other two kind of watch on. It's almost a comical sight seeing Envy literally anger burst their way through the field of lightning. And even when they get struck, it only seems to elect a laughter of glee from them. But they're making their way through the fields of lightning, as you two will also have to do as well.
After getting struck, Envy raises up like one of her arms that's scorched and blackened, and laughs as the flesh regenerates. Makes you feel good to be alive, doesn't it?
You're a few bricks short of a castle, sweetie.
Why do I need a castle when I'm already a fortress? Now hurry up! I'm sick of waiting for you.
Is it possible for me to analyze the pattern that Envy took?
Oh, definitely. I would say go ahead and give me a 2d6 plus heart.
So I got 8 on the 2d6.
Okay. So that's just enough. You're not going to get any additional information, but you do have enough of a success that you are able to kind of plot out in your head. You can almost see it rewinding the footage in your brain, as you can see the exact kind of path that Envy took, even where they messed up, and you kind of calculate where you would have to step to avoid the lightning that struck them. How does 2B run through the field of lightning? Is it just a straight run? Are you doing anything like acrobatic?
Well, I'll try to dodge all of the lightning if possible.
So doing the little side steps and backups like from the game as the lightning just strikes all over. You're a lot more graceful than Envy's kind of barreling through everything. And you manage to avoid getting hit. Noticing that whenever the lightning strikes and you're able to dodge out of the way, time seems to slow down for almost a moment for you. While to the others, it looks like you just merely speed up.
Oh. She go?
Yeah, I heard ya. Let's get it over with. So, what am I rolling here?
So you're gonna roll for limit break, so you would usually add plus light.
Okay. That's a 12.
Wow.
With my additional light, I rolled a 10.
That's amazing. So you could also you can give a +1 forward to an ally as a bonus for making such a great check. I'll let you choose whether you choose Envy or 2B, but I feel like I already
2B.
know. Yeah. I already feel like I know what you're gonna do. But yeah, Shigo, this is simple for you. This is just this is another laser maze, essentially, in just a different order.
Business as usual. You know how it goes.
How does Shigo get through the field of lightning?
I think that she cracks a cocky smile and then just goes blazing forward, leaving green energy sparks in her wake. And from everyone's angle from looking at it, it looks like she's just doing it and doesn't even care. She's just bouncing to and fro away from these lightning bolts like she's having a great time. And then she stops in front of all of you and says, "Are we going? Are you good?"
Now that you've finally caught up.
Yeah, whatever. I don't work on your time schedule.
So where are we heading next, Envy?
Envy consults the Wayfinder.
The Wayfinder clearly points through this sort of like canyon path as cliffs start to rise up as you kind of go down it to the large structure that is now slowly coming more into more view. Your comment of why would you need to be a castle when you could be a fortress starts to ring true as this thing literally starts to look like the most wicked fortress you've ever seen.
Are we above it? Elevation wise?
Yes, it does sink down to the ground, kind of masking its true size.
What's the terrain between ourselves and it look like?
So you're like on the top of the cliffs. You would need to sort of, descend down really slowly, or however you'd want, in order to get to the
slowly. Not hardly.
So are we heading down?
No, we're heading up, away from the fortress. Aren't you like an android or something? Shouldn't you be quicker on the uptake?
I do apologize. The lightning is scrambling up a bit of my tech.
Does the lightning continue toward the fortress?
Yes, but it's a lot more kind of subtle, and probably not to hit anything important.
Okay, in that case, Envy has an idea. They want to turn into sort of a large pterodactyl-like creature, take one swoop in the valley, and then swing around and try to snatch the rest of them up and fly them down.
Okay, definitely for sure. So you kind of do your aerial maneuvers, avoiding the lightning as you go, kind of trying to case the area. It looks fairly... like the fortress looks menacing. It's definitely cooler than any headquarters that you've ever had. It also seems a lot like out of like a fairy tale. But I mean, this whole idea of being resurrected pretty much seems out of a fairy tale, to be perfectly honest. And Shigo and 2B, you've seen Envy take this form before. It's
yeah, unfortunately, the rippling flash never gets. I never get used to it.
And it probably doesn't.
Can I roll to dodge the claws though?
Oh yeah, definitely. Same for you, 2B. If you feel like, are you gonna let Envy just snatch you up, or are you gonna make it tough for them?
Do I know why they're trying to snatch me up?
I'm carrying you.
And you might be able to get that idea. Envy hasn't really said anything, but yeah, you probably get the idea that they're gonna try to
there's
find
a
you.
lot of things that I don't want in this world. Being in Envy's claws is one of them. So your move.
I'll try to dodge it.
All right. Can both of you roll 2d6 plus dark, please?
So, I got an 8 on the 2d6.
Okay.
That's a 7 for me.
All right. So, and Envy, just because they each got a mild success, I'm gonna combine them both just because they're resisting you, and say they're able to kind of narrowly avoid your snatching up maneuver, much to your dismay, because yeah, at the end of the day.
Listen, I can take my own ride down, and Shigo is going to activate a clicker at her side and pull up her like rocket-powered surfboard that she can ride through the air and hop on and start going down.
I just pull out the map system that I have and try to find. It will lead me down towards the path of least resistance as I hop down.
You know, you could get a ride with me. It's better than being clawed.
That sounds like a great idea.
Shigo whirls back to pick up 2B. See ya, Envy.
You almost do. Oh.
I was gonna say, once they fail to grasp the other two, Envy's gonna just continue on to the fortress and scout around, assuming that if they're worth anything at all, they'll catch up.
Mm-hmm. Envy and even Shigo and 2B, as you all begin circling around the fortress, you could tell there's no easy way into this place. It doesn't have any doors. It doesn't have any windows. As far as you know, it just has a single archway, kind of at the very kind of bottom towards the middle. But everything else is very well blanketed by these thick obsidian-like rocks that are jagged at every edge, and it looks more like a pincushion more than an actual fortress or castle.
You know what they say about obsidian? It's just volcanic glass. Time to make a hole.
Awesome. And okay, I would say someone in this someone in this game actually has that ability to just make a hole wherever they want to. So you want to break through the
But if
fortress.
someone has a relevant ability, I don't want to take away their shine. Go for it.
Come on, 2.
Well, I'm
Time
going
to
to follow up with their attack just to make sure that there's an actual hole in there.
Okay.
I'll do that with you too.
So 2B actually, because she's following up the attack, she does have the move. If there's no door, then I'll make one. So 2B,
really?
go.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's the name of the move. It's so good.
I can break things down, but nothing specific like that.
So you can 2B, you can actually roll a mastery to open a new path forward. So go ahead and give me 2d6 plus your mastery.
I got a 10 on my 2d6, but I'm not sure what my mastery is.
Your mastery is a +1. So 11 total, which is it's a complete success. How are you using your weapon just basically to cut a way through? Or is there another kind of relevant ability that you would like to use?
I was probably looking at the structure with my system, seeing the weakest point of entry, and then I jumped down away from out of Shigo's hoverboard, and then just using all the force and inertia, I used that to cut away a door open and just smash through.
Drawing your katana, it's quick and easy work for you. You've done this maneuver before. You're a trained soldier, and as you land with perfect proficiency and precision that even A2 would be impressed, you cut through the volcanic glass that makes up the exterior of this fortress and reveal a very sizable makeshift door and hole deeper to the structure inside, and you land gracefully with a slow kind of like drop.
So, point of clarification, I thought Envy had the ability. I was very confused. I thought we were following up with 2B. So sorry about my comment after that.
It's okay.
Apologize.
Yeah.
No, I brought this one for a reason.
Oh, that's very cute.
She's very
You
good
have
at...
a little door knocker.
That's right.
Where's your doorbell, though? Shouldn't you come with one?
Well, ding dong, girls, time to find that weapon.
Fine, let's go.
Envy leading the charge again, or 2B, are you taking point?
Well, Envy has the Wayfinder, but I am scanning the environment as, they're talking to themselves.
Yeah.
Let us know if you find any interesting bleeps or bloops.
The reading is off the chart. It's material that is very otherworldly, and it is surging with power. This whole place is almost like a battery, you can tell to be. It reminds you of a sort of primitive factory like the machines once had to build their mighty weapons.
I do tell this information to the others as well.
So it's a robot manufacturing plant?
It seems like it.
That's so boring. Does anyone in any realm have any other ideas to take over the universe besides freaking robots? Like, come on.
I might have one or two.
It's so dull. No offense, 2B, but you know, like...
And as you kind of cross through... Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to do something, MV?
No.
Okay. As you cross through the first ring, the outer layer, you can see kind of inside the walls of this fortress. There's almost like a space between and then another wall, another centralized, looking like a tower within the mega structure that you're currently in. There are small paths leading over that have seemed to have crumbled away due to time, and you're kind of left with this deep chasm that's separating you and the inner structure. That is until Shigo, and even 2B, but Shigo most likely because of like the fact that you can glow in light. You see that the dark chasm, it isn't just darkness from being absent. It's actually, it can't be heartless. Not just a small amount of heartless, but the chasms are brimming like a cesspool of them, literally thousands packed together, squirming about like almost like bugs. You didn't even think they could get this far.
Well, someone needs to call the exterminator. Stop, Envy, 2B. For real. Look closely at that chasm. It's heartless.
Almost like an ocean.
How did so many... What is this place? Envy, do you know anything about this place?
Hey, 2, you said this was a factory, right? Maybe.
Yes, it is brimming with power.
Factory of Heartless?
Factory for Heartless. Maybe they're the weapon. If we turn these on the forces of light, well, they don't stand a chance now, do they?
And how exactly do you propose we harness this without losing our own hearts?
That is the challenge,
Didn't
isn't
think
it?
that far ahead, did ya? God, you're...
I don't hear any bright
Working with
ideas
idiots.
coming from you, Pipsqueak.
Well, my first bright idea is to get across these to see what's in that tower, because whatever's in that tower is what's keeping them in this chasm. How's that for a bright idea?
Maybe the weapon is used to control this heartless.
It's possible.
Yeah.
2B, you would know that each seeker could control a small amount of heartless at any given time. They can summon, not even control, they can more of summon doorways for them to get out, and then they kind of just let them do their thing. But there's nothing that you've ever heard before that assumes direct control, which is why this is very strange to you. And although you could probably tell the heartless to part from you, you're sure with the amount of heartless that are currently saturating the area, that it would be too much even for 3 of you to all command away.
Looks like we're gonna have to ride over this writhing mass.
Either that or make a
Reminds me of
way.
Dr. Draken when he ate.
Another
Last one there is an idiot. Envy's going
First one
to...
across is an idiot, but you know, whatever.
Envy is going to grow out their fingers into like long, sharp claws, as well as their toes, and then start just crawling along the outside wall of this thing to make their way around to the tower.
Awesome, as Envy literally spider climbs.
Literally spider climbs.
Yeah, spider climbs their way to the tower. What do the 2 of you do?
Think we can just ride over there, 2B?
Yes.
Let's go then. So I take my surfboard and guide it over the chasm.
As you so with Envy, you notice the heartless haven't like try to go after them. Mainly, you're not sure why, even though they're closer. But as you try to make a direct beeline over the chasm, towards the middle, you hear a rumbling as a swath of Heartless emerge from the cesspool of the ocean and kind of like in a tornado try to encompass you.
Well, this wasn't gonna be easy in the first place, was it?
Watch out, Envy.
All right.
So, Shigo, to be the Heartless are coming after you. What do you do?
I'll clear a path.
Okay, so you're gonna use your make a doorway again. I like it. Okay, go ahead and roll me 2d6 plus mastery.
I got an 8 on the 2d6.
Okay. And then what's your mastery? Is
Plus 1, I think.
Plus 1, yes.
This one.
Okay, so you got a 9 total. All right, so it'll get you there, but it's gonna take time. So you see.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Before you narratively tell us what happens, can Envy use their "Come on, you can do better than that" move? It says when someone fails an action or has a moment of doubt. Is this considered a failure?
It's considered it's a partial success, but also could be considered partial failure. So yeah, you could definitely use you could do better than that, or come on, you can do better than that.
Okay, I am. That's the sort of. Hold on, let me get this right. That's the sort of move I would have expected from some piddly human. Come on, you can do better than that. I'm gonna give you +1.
And you get the +1, which is gonna bring your +9 to a 10. Which, so to be, how do you carve a path through the Heartless?
Well, I'd probably be doing some acrobatics, that's for sure, while Shigo is like keeping the path or the hoverboard going forward. I'd probably be jumping forward ahead of us and then just carving it out and then using the force to hop back into the hoverboard and keep doing that until the path is clear.
Awesome. So as you let loose your storm of sword, your katana quickly cleaves through, 3 or 4 Heartless every swing. It takes a moment. It takes a few tries, but you don't let the overall stress of the situation keep you down, though, as you make your way through the kind of horde of Heartless that are attempting to surround you. Shigo, as you're kind of going through and 2B does clear this path, you know that they are swarming behind you, almost as if trying to catch up with you.
Time to make sure that they can't keep up. I'm going to fire a blast of plasma behind us to slow them down.
Cool, go ahead and roll 2d6 plus your dark.
Okay. That's a 9.
Okay, with modifiers?
Yes.
Awesome, cool. A success is, it's still a success. As you let loose, I'm guessing you're just letting like one after the other, or just one big one?
One big one.
Okay.
I'm still keeping my eyes ahead of me so that I can focus on making sure 2B gets back from every jump that she makes. So I just hold my hand out backwards like this and just fire off a large blast of green plasma.
All right. I have a question for you. So if you could probably kill them all in one go if you really wanted to. However, you might hurt yourself in the process or leave yourself open for harm. Or you could simply beat back the few that you have so far and defend yourself but get through. What would you like to do?
I think I would like to... There's one ability. Okay, I'll save it. I'll fire off a few shots to keep them off our tail, but I won't overwhelmingly destroy them.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. So, as you let loose with a, not huge but moderate sized blast, no one ever told you the smell of cooking Heartless was as bad as it was, but it
So
definitely...
tasty.
It's like fish oil and toothpaste. Who designed these things? This is gross.
You hear screeching as the Heartless erupt into darkness, fading away as you destroy a swath of them, allowing you and 2B to get to the side, or get to the tower, landing safely. The minute you touch the cliff side on the opposite end, minute 2B lands and you both get across, the Heartless seem to ebb and flow and retreat back into the darkness of their chasm. Envy shortly joins you unharmed for the most part as well.
Yeah, you better run away. Heartless.
So you took the hard way, huh?
Sorry that crawling my way right through the Heartless wasn't on my to-do list tonight.
And yet, I wasn't on their menu.
They have taste,
Everyone,
I guess.
please. We have a task. Envy, where to next?
This tower, obviously. Here, this way. Stay close.
And as you go through what you assume to be the kind of obvious entrance hall into this tower, as it gets more structurally sound, you find yourself in a hallway full of rocks that are like glass, making like a natural hall of mirrors.
Hey, Envy. This must be a horror show for you having to see your face so many times. I know it makes me want to puke.
Oh, what face did you want to see?
All of
This
them are
one?
gross.
Envy's gonna change and look like Kim Possible.
While they're discussing this or having their little argument, I am simply analyzing the environment.
Envy, change back.
Oh no!
No.
Looks like I'm everywhere!
Okay, Shigo is going to run at Envy and grab their neck.
Okay.
Oh, that's a
Your jokes
mirror,
are
can't
annoying,
catch
but
me!
This is above and beyond.
Wait, I need to do the Kim Possible lip. Oh.
Oh, like the little. You're gonna attack Envy. Are you looking to like harm Envy, or are you looking just to like subdue them?
Subdue. I'm not looking to harm them.
Yep. Go ahead and roll mastery, and Envy, you can go ahead and actually roll to interfere, because
Yes.
I'm guessing you're not letting this happen, right?
No.
So go ahead.
I would
and
like
roll
her to keep smashing into shiny rocks, please.
That's an 11.
Okay, roll with dark Envy.
10.
All right, so yeah, it comes to it's pretty much a standstill at this point. So Envy dodges you like once or twice, but you end the chase very simply by kind of like fainting for one mirror and going for the side off the other, and you catch Envy square in the chest.
Turn back. Now. I'll even add a please in there. Please.
They
I didn't think it
will.
could look any worse.
Well, I suppose I could look like you.
That would be a distinct improvement, but as if you could match this, really. Believe me, your gross attitude gives it away.
Better than indifference, I suppose. Anyhow, let's go. Enough fun for the moment.
To be
Did my analyzing bring up anything?
Yes, actually, as you probably were ignoring the rest of that little fight they had because you were just perplexed as you look at each mirror and you analyze each reflection. You notice that the reflections are not all the same. It takes you a second. Actually, go ahead and roll me heart. I'm going to see if you get the greater knowledge out of this.
Ooh, I got a 10 on the
Awesome.
2d6.
So as you analyze each reflection, you notice that sometimes it's not your own reflection staring back at you. Sometimes it's someone that looks like you, but with longer white hair. A2, and then sometimes it's a boy with white hair.
Highness.
Other times it's the commander. And you realize you're not staring at your reflection. You're staring at the various bits of pieces that kind of make up your soul and your psyche, the various relationships you have. And you're sure if Shigo and Envy were to focus on their own reflections, they would begin to see people in their lives as well. And you start to realize that maybe you're not looking through a mirror, maybe you're looking through a window, but you're not sure where exactly.
Everyone, don't look at the mirror.
Don't look at the mirror.
There's something strange about this.
Shigo's going to immediately look at a mirror.
It will
To be, you tried to warn her as she goes. You stare at your reflection. Off in the peripheral vision, you almost think you see Kim Possible again, darting away and giving you a smile.
I immediately activate my energy and smash or try to smash one of the mirrors.
As you smash the mirror in front, like that's off to the side, you just see your own broken reflection staring out at you, and you almost can hear the sound of someone familiar, a certain blue-skinned man who talks to your side. So, Shigo, can you do better than that? What do I even hire you for?
You can't tell me to do better when you fail every plan you have, Dr. Draken.
That's fine. And I'm guessing you smashed the other mirror too?
Dr. Donkey, what?
What you thought was Dr. Draken, yet again, a broken reflection of yourself staring back at you.
Oh, what is with this room?
It's supposed to trap us, I think.
Well, I don't want to stay here. Let's get the hell out of here.
The doorway going forward, it has a strange sigil on it. Looking like a circle with points at every end, like almost like a sun, but more mechanical.
It matches your bright and sparkling personality, Envy.
Why do you think I brought you on this? Figure it out.
Are you telling me what to do or 2B?
I was talking to Shigo.
Fine. I'll walk up to it. Examine it.
There seems to be like a handprint where you can put your hand on.
I look at it more closely to see if this is a trap of some kind.
It definitely does have sharp indentations in it, almost as if it's trying to draw blood. Very barbaric.
Whose hand do you think goes there?
Only one way to find out. So Shigo's going to activate her energy and then just press down on the indentations, not caring about the blood draw, and try to melt the thing.
Oh, okay. That's
Wow.
We're gonna say you're gonna push through stress for that because it hurts holding it there. As the sharp.
Well, I was just gonna say that is a choice.
Bad ass choice. Oh. How angry are you right now, Shigo?
I've been dealing with envy, followed by seeing people from my past that I was better off without, that I thought wouldn't be here, but they follow me around like parasites, so I guess I'm pretty angry.
You could say pissed if you want to.
I'm pissed.
So usually you have to roll with your links, with usually I would say mastery to get through this, but because I think that you're angry enough, I think it activates your move.
It does.
Which is going to let you use dark
Instead.
So go ahead and 2d6 plus dark.
Yes.
Okay. That is a 10.
You could feel the blood being drawn from your hand as it sinks in, and you can feel your power kind of rushing through this door. It doesn't melt the lock, but you can see that the lines of the sigil begin to grow green with your energy, and you hear almost the sound of a click as the door starts to slowly open and yield to you. You're not sure why, but you feel like
everything yielded to me so easily.
You feel like it recognized you almost, or it was waiting here for someone like you. Someone like the three of you. Maybe.
I'm gonna shake my hand off and like leave droplets of like plasma-filled blood on the ground.
Oh, it singes the ground. You hear the little hissing as it buries into the dirt underneath.
Done. Let's go.
And before you proceed, Shigo, go ahead and just because you had that kind of encounter with Kim Possible in your head, roll me heart.
Where's my heart? Have it here. All right. That's 11. I have a -1 and I rolled a 12.
That's great. Wow. Yeah, so you're gonna hold 3 on that. So yeah, you can spend hold at any part in this and on any roll to add +1. So you have 3 of those. You can give you can either spend them all in one roll if you want, or you can evenly distribute them however you'd like.
So I get 3 points to add to any roll, or in whatever way I want. Cool.
Exactly. 2B, you kind of recognize that maybe, you know, they're a handful, but they do have their uses.
They're competent.
Can't really say that about some of the others. What's going through 2B's head right now as she enters through, following Envy and Shigo?
Well, the moment I enter the room, I'm already analyzing every aspect, every area in this room to see if there are any danger possible, any enemies that could come in, or any traps that could activate, since so far we have been dealing with something that's trying to obviously keep us out of here. But since we've been dealing with something that I haven't seen before, every new thing that I have, every new unknown that I have seen so far, I'm just keeping it in my database and storing it for future references.
Mm-hmm. And as you kind of walk in and scan, you could see very easily, Envy, obviously you being the first in the room, it's very easy, like, you see the first thing in this kind of circular room is 6 sets of armor that are lining the walls of the circle.
Envy immediately assumes that they're going to attack. I don't trust armor or armored individuals.
Yes, you have.
Smartest thing you've said all day.
Yeah, the armor is strange. Actually, it's not strange to you, Envy. You've seen this type of armor before, specifically when you very recently fought Ben Solo. Just a little while ago, you noticed that he had this type of armor and helmet. Similar styles, at least.
What a good it did him.
Yeah, you already kind of know that you're able to punch through most of these.
Yeah. Okay. That makes him feel a little more confident. Besides, okay, so we enter the room. There's 6 sets of armor lining the walls. Anything else of interest in here?
Yes, there is kind of these bright lights cascading down this sort of a blue like haze that's illuminating the area, kind of bathing it, almost making it look like you're like under the water. And kind of looking up, there's no clear path, but the tower does extend upwards, and it looks like if you might be able to climb up it if you'd like, or maybe there's a way to kind of get something down that'll take you up there.
Envy's a very direct person. You can call them a person. They're going to essentially just extend their legs and arms to be able to reach up into this upper area and latch on and then start climbing up the side. It's gotta be up here. And looking around in this upper area to find any sort of control device or a panel or a crystal rod or whatever these dark Jedi Sith people might have.
Shigo and 2B, as Envy starts to climb the tower, you hear noises surrounding you in the room.
Oh no.
It's
like Envy activated another trap.
Time for a headache.
another trap that Envy doesn't have to deal with yet again if they choose not to. You see the armor begin to come to life as it moves ever so slowly, stepping off the pedestals. You're not sure if they are looking for violence and conflict, but you've kind of get this this message in all of your heads. Not necessarily like it's not necessarily in language you can even understand, like that you can understand. It's not even words. It's more of just a feeling. But you get the idea. Leave this place.
That's what everyone says when they don't want you to take their stuff. Activates green energy.
Already going into fighting stance.
Envy, are you joining the fray as well, or are you going to let them deal with it?
They will, but they're gonna let them feel a little bit of pain and pressure before Envy drops down upon the armor, just with like complete brutality.
Okay. So as they each get to you, you can tell that they each have different types of weapons. Indeed, they look strange. Some of the weapons don't even look to be ones that you notice. You see one with a sort of club-like device, another with one that assumes that almost looks like a giant butcher knife. The third has a kind of sickle-like weapon. One of them has some sort of gun in their hand, as 2B is. No, well, actually, all of you have experience with seeing people with guns, so you would know. And then the fifth one having some sort of staff, and the last one having some sort of giant axe. As they move kind of in unifying order, kind of marching towards you. Do you play the defense game, or are you immediately going to go on the offense?
Oh, I only have one setting, and that's offensive. I'm going to
I'll
start
say.
jumping onto the nearest one and just like onto their shoulder blades, or what would be the equivalent, and start clawing at the back of their backs.
Okay, yeah, I love that
milk
brutality. Go ahead and roll plus dark.
Let's see.
I immediately attack as well the moment I felt that the thought of like leave this place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've come too far. Can't really leave now. Go ahead and also roll with dark, please.
I will never match these rolls any other time in my life. That is an 11 again.
Oh my god! I just got a 12. Sorry.
Oh my god.
No, that's great.
That is great.
And we talked about feeling pain, or letting them feel pain and pressure. But that doesn't look like what's happening. As Shigo goes,
Guess I won't jump down there.
yeah, with acrobatic, reaches behind one and kind of you're using your like green enhanced claws, and you rip through the armor of one of them, tearing them to shreds in a single strike. And you kind of
It's fine.
and I'm guessing you like grab them, you do the whole like to rip them apart kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's satisfying. You imagine Kim Possibles in that armor for a second.
You know what? It's just like crushing a tin can or some teen heroine's skull.
She can't do anything after that. And 2B, I imagined you're using your sword, right? Okay.
They aren't, for me, they are no different than the machines that I used to fight.
You draw a quick slice, and that's all you need. We see that kind of pose where we see you kind of, start at the beginning and then you end behind them, and we see the slash go through, and one of them is just bisected. Armor, of course, so it's fine. Perfectly able to show on television. As one of the armor pieces just collapses the ground with a clang. That's some brutal efficiency. There are 4 left. One of them's gonna go onto Shigo. Shigo, go ahead and roll for defense from harm, which I'm gonna double check to see what that is. That's gonna be a light, and then 2B also roll me plus light, as another one's also gonna go for you. And Envy, you can roll me plus light as well, as the one with the gun is going to attempt to shoot you.
Ooh, well, I will substitute light for dark.
Okay.
Let's see. I
rolled a
rolled
13.
Hey, this is all about being badass villains, so you know what?
Apparently.
I got an 8 on my 2d6 roll. I'm not sure what my modifier is.
Maybe I
It's
shouldn't
plus
roll in
light,
Google anymore.
so it's on your sheets at the very top out before the moves. It's plus 1, so you got a 9. So
I got a 6
total.
Total. I rolled a 4.
All right, we're gonna start with the best, and then work our way down to the most harsh consequences.
That works. I think Envy is just watching this battle and like go back and forth just with just such enjoyment over the
Yeah,
chaos
you're
and
not
the
ready for
mayhem.
it.
I am just not paying attention.
You're not ready for someone to actually take a pop, like just a quick like little sucker punch shot at you. So yeah, Shigo, do you dodge the attack? Do you like grab it midair? How do you stop this?
I want to say that she dodges and counterattacks and just like grabs the arm in midair and then ducks underneath and then drives the other hand up the front and just leaves claw marks in the wake and shreds through it.
Ooh, yes, you quickly, you mess through that armor easily. It is like you said, obsidian is just volcanic glass. This metal feels like glass as you actually melt it as your claws go across it, and you leave it just crumbled. You look past and you see 2B trying to is also taking a hit. So I have a question for you, 2B. Would you like to expose yourself to danger or your allies?
I'd expose myself to danger.
Okay.
I can take more beating than the others.
It's a noble endeavor. And I appreciate that notion. As you kind of get struck, you go ahead and you kind of block the most of the brunt of it as you kind of sink, and you feel the floor give out underneath you. And you begin to fall.
Oh.
We'll cut to Envy really quick. As Envy's kind of enjoying it, you see 2B literally break through the floor. That's an interesting development, one that you really like. And then you don't see the last one taking lining up a shot and firing this like blast of like red plasma or laser at you and striking you directly in the chest. You go ahead and you take another. You're gonna take 2 points of serious harm. As it drops you pretty easily from the top You hit the ground hard. But you're still up. You're still up. You're a hardy person.
I
But
thought it was annoying. Okay, so I get to act.
Yes.
All right, cool. I'm gonna get up, sort of with one hand clutching my chest. Look around for a moment for the one with the staff.
Mm-hmm.
And then just sort of fairly leap on that one. And what I want to do is a move to like spin them around and then throw them at the one with the gun.
Okay. So yeah, the one with the staff is there's two left. Yeah, the one with the staff and then the one with the gun. So you take the one that's just kind of, managed to get to be, push them through the floor, and then you surprise them and kind of do this swinging maneuver. Go ahead and we're going to do limit break. Just because, actually, no, we're going to go and say strike with intent. Go ahead and roll me plus dark. It's a sort of brutal maneuver that you're used to doing.
All right, yeah. Let's see. 7 on die, which is a total of 9.
Okay, cool. So, do you want to? You can guarantee the kill on both of them, but you might make things worse for yourselves in the long run, or you could take the safe option.
No, I want to kill both of them.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, as you kind of do the toss, you latch on, and Envy, you're in your base form as you are. You're kind of a small person. But
hey, who you calling small?
You're kind of
the proper term is pipsqueak.
I'll show you.
But you have a lot of strength, and you can see as you kind of grip into the armor that you're grabbing, you actually leave indents in it, and you kind of just spin them around and straight up toss them with brutality into the other as the armor just kind of clatters together, breaking apart into various bits and pieces. However, as you take a mighty step, you see the floor beneath you starting to crack as well, and the entirety of the floor capsizes, sinking both you and Shigo, shortly joining 2B. As we cut back to 2B, you're falling very fast.
Immediately, what do I see?
It's darkness, but you can hear the dripping of water, and you think you might be hitting water if you go down enough, but that would still hurt though, and you're not sure how you would deal with that.
I'm going to make myself as small as possible by just pulling into myself.
Pulling in, yep. And you're gonna try to kind of land with, defend yourself for most of the brunt. Yeah, go ahead and roll me a plus mastery, which is gonna be that 2d6 plus your mastery, which is 1.
I got an 8 on that.
Okay.
And plus 1, that's 9.
So we're gonna say that you get the wind knocked out of you as well. You're not gonna take any harm, but you do make yourself, as small as mass as possible, and you end up breaking through the water. It shudders your systems a bit as you feel your whole body shake from the force. Someone not as powerful as you might actually have gotten really hurt doing that, but you feel yourself sinking into this cold water with that no light seems to be able to kind of penetrate. It's all very dark. Shigo, Envy, you see 2B hit the water. You yourselves are falling. What are you going to do?
Surfboard.
Surfboard. Oh, I have a gross idea. Envy is going to actually splay their arms and legs out, making themselves like fall about as flat as possible, and shoot out all 4 limbs toward the walls, and even several additional limbs start to form and pop out toward the various walls and scratch their way down the stone and everything to slow their descent.
Do you think Shigo falls on top of you, or Shigo, are you below Envy?
It depends on how quickly Envy does that. I'm probably below you, actually.
Yeah, I think it would be a pretty instinctive reaction to just reach out and grab something.
Shigo is going to try begrudgingly to get 2B, because 2B, though passive, has been useful, and also I don't mind her. Envy, you're on your own.
All right, so Shigo, go ahead and roll with light. Envy, roll with mastery.
With pleasure. Well, with mastery.
Good roll. Wait, what was that? Was it mastery?
Light.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still not good.
Finally, a good roll. Rolled a 9 for an 11.
Awesome.
7 from me.
Okay, so we'll go from like best to worst again. Your arms splay out as you grab onto the sides of the wall and kind of like, oh, it sounds like nails on a chalkboard. All the way down as you feel your fingertips start to bleed as you kind of cut through them. But you hold on, and you know the pain kind of feels good to you, and it keeps you kind of in the fight. And you slow your ascent, or your descent, I should say.
Yes, keeps me in the moment.
Shigo, you hit the water with your hoverboard, I'm guessing, right? You feel your hoverboard immediately give out and kind of fly off into the opposite direction.
Oh no.
But you kind of are able to get to 2B, who is curled up in this ball. As the water starts to cover you.
Well, rescue attempt failed. This is why I don't do good things. This is why I never do.
Seriously? Alright, may I attempt to save them?
Sure. I mean, yeah, and 2B, did you want to do anything while Envy is also trying to save you?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna since I imagine that in my system there's like I would know which way is up. Even in complete darkness. So I'm immediately like trying to swim up.
Okay. And are you grabbing Shigo as well? Because you feel Shigo
Yes.
grab onto you.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and say you're going to limit break. And I see with that, it's just straight up light. So go ahead and roll. Let me see how many light links you have. You have 3 light links, so you're actually gonna roll 2d6 plus 3 for this.
2d6 plus 6. Oh my god. That was why am I rolling well? I rolled a 12.
Okay, 12 plus 3. Oh, damn. All right. Yeah, so you go ahead and you're just like, you're doing full on, well, it's like a one-handed because you got the other one on Shigo, grabbing it. And Shigo, you realize that even though you went in to rescue 2B, you find yourself being the one being rescued as you both break the surface of the water. And
Envy, a little hand, please.
Thank you. Sorry, I don't say that often.
Little. Envy is going to extend one of the many limbs that they've manifested down toward the water with like an absurdly large, long-fingered hand that has like 7 fingers on it, and lay it down like a platform to stand on.
oof,
Ugh.
it's
Going
gross, but
up?
useful.
Drowning's still an option.
Come on, let us go.
Fine.
All right, and then they'll lift the 2 companions up and start climbing with their other many limbs back up into the main chamber.
As this spider lizard formation that is Envy starts to make its way up, you start to, both of you start to think, you're like, because you've never really seen Envy's true form, and you're like, you never
It's
know.
not quite there, but
Yeah,
it's getting there.
It's getting there, and you kind of start to realize, what exactly is Envy?
I don't even want to know. I don't. That's not a mystery I need solved.
I mean, if Envy usually has the human form or shows themselves as a human, which I didn't think existed. But I guess I didn't find this strange at all. Just quite interesting. I'll make a note of that in my system.
Especially for something so organic. You're not used to seeing organic things. Or things without limbs or with extra limbs. The last thing you remember talking to you without any sort of biological unit kind of was Emil, who, you know, had a lack of limbs at the time, if you remember.
Yes.
As you climb out of the hole, you find yourselves back in the area with the suits of armor again, who have seemingly reformed and have taken their places back in their recesses.
Like even the ones that were completely destroyed?
They as put together as they can be, I should say.
Gotcha. Okay.
Looking like they're patchwork back together, but this time instead of standing almost like that Templar style with like their hands like this, you notice that they are all kneeling.
Once MV reaches the upper chamber where they can stand on flat ground, they'll finish like lifting the other two back into the chamber as their mini limbs sort of start to slither back into their body, and they resume their regular standard human looking form.
Yeah, I am just staring at Envy as they do this.
I am looking anywhere but Envy because I am disturbed.
Jealous?
Not even a little. Not even a little. I like my current number of limbs, no more, no less. Thank you.
It's definitely it's not fun. You can tell, you can say that for sure. It's not a pretty thing to watch. And I always imagine Envy kind of like when they transform back, it's almost like a snapping of bones too. So it's not just the visual. You could still hear the sounds.
Like snapping, squelching sounds.
Flesh.
Yeah, just like
things clicking back into place. A reasonable number of limbs.
And as you kind of look up to the tower, you notice that the blue glow has almost kind of gotten more intense. You're not sure what secrets lie before you, but you figure that maybe now would be the best time to take a short 5-minute break, as we'll be shortly back with Kingdom Hearts The Interstitial War, Episode 5, Reverse, Exegol. See you all in 5 minutes, everyone. Hello everyone and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts The Interstitial War, Episode 5, Reverse, Exegol. I'd like to thank all my faithful viewers for sticking around so far and watching. Please go ahead and share all the Twitch VODs after the show is over. The YouTube video once it goes up on Monday at, I believe, 12 p.m. As well as we have still our shirt, our Kingdom Hearts, the first bit of merch for the Interstitial War. Any proceeds from the merchandise will go directly to the show and back into funding the show, which is awesome. And then I also have announcements at the end of the episode. But for now, let's go back into weaving our tale of darkness. As you stare up into the large tower, you notice that a platform starts to slowly lower down from the tower.
Oh, look, we got an invitation. It's blue, though. It looks like my brother. I don't really like this.
Well, it'd be rude not to take it.
Oh, yeah, you normally care about rudeness. That's totally something you care about.
Envy will board the platform.
I'm hopping into the platform.
I'll begrudgingly hop onto the platform.
It does remind you of Higo a bit, Shigo. You can almost hear his stupid voice in your head telling you,
Don't cause trouble, don't do violence, don't cut off that man's head, stop you from cutting the man's head off. Ugh.
Shigo, you could always turn yourself around at any point.
Mm-hmm.
But
But
why
I
would
don't
you?
want to.
Exactly. And
Sounds so annoying.
He was a peach.
as you start to go up the tower, you see the same crystalline like mirror is on the whole way up, and you all find yourselves looking at it as if not to look at each other, because it still feels very tense this whole trip. You're definitely not what you would call friends, I would assume, or motley co-workers at this point. What's on your mind as you go up this tower? Like, as the mirror starts to kind of reflect your deepest desires back at you. What does that look like?
I know Envy's envisioning a glorious and bloody victory in this war, so that they get everything they ever wanted, and they're imagining themselves as like conqueror, victor.
And Envy, as you kind of look at your fight, you almost feel a little bit more human looking at yourself, but you would never admit that to the others, you know.
Keep that in here.
What about you, Shigo? What do you see? What is
I
your
see
deepest desire?
myself on a throne in an expensive gown with all of my brothers on their knees in front of me, wielding a scepter with all of their powers. And in the background, hanging in a picture, is my victory over Kim Possible, just underneath my foot.
Amazing.
And then actually behind me is Kim Possible in a maid outfit, next to Ron in a butler outfit. They work for me now.
Surprisingly, you know who's not in the picture? Where did Draken go?
Draken can take care of himself. I'm done with him.
And then we settle on 2B. 2B. I have a feeling what's pictured in your mirror is very different from the other two. What do you see?
I see 9S. And, well, as you can say, together with me. This whole mission was just me the whole goal is just to find 9S
that what it was always for? And as you kind of look at 9S, and you can almost see that every part of his face is perfectly drawn on, perfectly outlined. It's like he's actually there, just staring at you through this window. You hear him speak to you, but only to you. What are you doing, 2B?
I don't know myself. I'm going to find you, 9S.
Please,
No matter what it takes.
call me Nines.
Nines, then. No matter what it takes, I will find you.
I made a sacrifice, 2B. I made a sacrifice for knowledge. And I don't think you can bring me back from where I'm going.
I will certainly try.
I couldn't
I will
stop
certainly
you,
try.
even if I wanted to.
For just one life. One life I want you to live.
But you would give up 13 in order for one to survive?
If it's for you, yes.
You're not sure if 9S gives you a he gives you a look, and you're not sure if it's a look of subtle happiness or bittersweet disappointment as it fades away and you reach the top of the tower. Stepping into the deepest reaches of the Sith Citadel, you see an amphitheater. The stands of the amphitheater as you enter into the main area are lingering with statues. Statues of robed figures that are unmoving.
Proud,
What else is in the amphitheater?
And the
Sorry, water
No.
in my system.
not good for an android.
Not good for an android.
As you see in the middle, there is a large throne. A throne fit for a master, a king, a queen, a lord, conqueror. A throne that most of you could see yourself sitting there. But on the throne, you see a hooded figure, smaller than you expected, splayed out across it, almost like they're barely withering away on it. The robe doesn't look like the ones that you wear to conceal yourself, or the ones that your master wears. It's different, more ancient.
Who do we got to dethrone to get this weapon? Matters not. Let's take him down.
Why don't we just find out who it is first before we start going rip, stabby, stabby? Who are you,
Look.
old guy?
You give them a chance and they'll take us down. You gotta hit first.
Yeah. Keep running your mouth. I'm gonna run mine in the other direction.
The voice is not a man, actually. It is that of a woman. Calls out, very old though, who calls out in a almost a whimper that you can hear. Not entirely human, as it feels like each word slither and slides into your consciousness. Thought all the Sith were dead.
We're not exactly Sith.
What is a Sith?
Hey.
Some sort of dark alchemist.
That's a thing that you have? I just assume that it's not.
Not quite. Close enough.
You're not Sith, but you reek with darkness. Isn't that right?
We're champions for our own causes, if that's what you're asking.
I took a shower before I came here, but I fell into some dark water, so...
The figure points at Envy. This one doesn't even have a soul.
Hey! Watch where you're pointing that.
That's pretty spot on. Is anyone surprised here? Nope.
Envy's gonna get frustrated. I am going to... Hold on, I got a power for this. Where is it? Who are you calling small? And Envy's just gonna rush the throne.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, everyone gets +4 to getting out of trouble. As you rush the throne, you're going to attack.
Yeah, no, I'm pissed.
But yeah, go ahead and roll dark as Envy just really much very like just on a whim just
So
shoots
mad.
out.
I get to mark experience. I'm not sure how much that'll help me in the long run, but or the short run rather. So I rolled a 7 for a total of 9.
Awesome to deal that for trick with intent. So you're gonna deal harm, and I'm gonna give you an option. You're gonna defend yourself from taking any counter harm. You could deal even more harm, or you could take control of the situation.
Ooh. That's an interesting choice. I like take control of the situation.
Okay. As you kind of rush through, you see dark tendrils begin to spread out from the rope figure in an attempt to pierce you. It almost feels like you're fighting with lust again. That similar moveset. As you see one, but you're not ready. You're not entirely ready for it. As one catches you in the shoulder, going straight through it, dealing you 1 harm. And it would stop you, but you're Envy, and you kind of go through with it and land yourself right on top of the figure, crashing into them. And I'm guessing you're gonna go grip them up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can imagine as this tendril like pierces their shoulder, Envy just rips away from it, letting the tendril just like pop right out, a chunk of flesh out, hoping that their regeneration will take care of the rest. Envy's gonna attempt to physically dethrone this person. Just bodily throw her off.
And as you kind of lift, you can feel the person is very light. They almost seem to be some sort of like mummy, how dry they are, and like how like thin and live they are, like a skeleton or whatever. It's something out of a horror movie. You pull them off, try to pull them off the throne, and realize that they're attached to it by several of these tendrils and wires that, although elongate, allowing you and the body to crash to the floor, not physically disconnecting them from the throne. And you can feel the creature or the woman in your mind calling out to you, "Stop! No.
Give me the weapon and I'll leave you be." Is it the Heartless? Is it control of them? Give them to me.
You've come so far, and yet you still understand nothing. Ashigo, 2B, what are you going to do?
Analyzing the situation.
Cool. Go ahead and roll me heart. And Shigo, what about you?
I think Shigo is going to walk up slowly, and then like right when they get to Envy, just go, "You remember what I said about trying to assess the situation before going off completely? Get off of him.
So I got a 9, and that's +2 for the heart. If
Yep.
I'm right.
So 11.
11.
Cool. So we'll go ahead and do 2B's move first, just because that's like it's not a conversation, it's just like a single thing. So you can ask 3 out of these questions. What here could I use to blank? What here is not as it seems? What is the best way out of the situation? What is the biggest threat here? And what was done here recently? You can ask 3 of those.
What here is not what it seems.
Okay. As you kind of take a look around, you can tell very quickly on that this amphitheater is not just here for show. Rather, you can see moving parts underneath it. You can see machinery and wiring. This amphitheater is an entire machine in itself. And you wonder if this thing is the weapon. What are your other 2 questions?
Which is the biggest threat here?
Surprisingly enough, it's envy. Envy is quickly accelerating the situation out of hand. And you feel like that that cooling envy down might be the way to proceed through this. In terms of what's gonna blow up in your face more.
Alright, 3rd question. What's left with the questions?
So what here could I use to blank? What is the best way out of the situation? And what was done here recently?
Ooh, what here can I use to subdue envy?
Oh, okay. So looking around, you can see, like on the kind of sides, that there is wiring and cable all like splayed across. Envy's strong and Envy's vicious and Envy can shapeshift, but even Envy would have trouble if they were encased in something, or even like restrained or tied up. Might become an issue.
I immediately turn to Shigo and tell her, like, we need to stop Envy from rampaging.
Already
or from
ahead of
damaging
you.
anything further.
So after what she says by Envy, she is just going to grab Envy and toss them. She knows that Envy can resist a hold or whatever, so she's not even gonna bother. She's just gonna throw Envy across the room.
Okay. Roll to strike with intent then? Or you're trying to subdue more than hurt? Or are you trying to hurt more than subdue?
I'm trying to subdue.
Okay, go ahead and roll light. Or I'm sorry, roll mastery.
That's a 3.
Oh, you throw a little bit too hard. As you toss Envy very harshly into one of the machines, causing the woman creature to shriek in pain.
Oh.
Sorry.
Envy,
I just-
stop.
She said I had no soul.
Do you?
Lay.
Do you have a soul? Why do you even care?
Well, no, but she didn't have to point it out.
Uh-huh. Get over it. Okay, lady, what's up with you?
Side note, now the entire party gets +1 going forward to get out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Shigo's
Yeah,
gonna
lady,
pick
what's
the
your
lady-
deal?
Shigo's gonna pick the lady up and put her back on the throne.
Oh, the woes of being an immortal.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, immortality sounds great until you look like a wrinkled old bean. Who are you?
When I was your age, I was known as Darth Noctius.
Interesting.
But now, just a withered old husk, condemned to float within darkness forever.
Okay. That all sounds great, and I love the, 5-year-old, I'm darkness kind of name, but we're looking for a weapon, and looks like this thing is attached to you. So what's going on?
Is this whole thing the weapon?
Citadel is a special. It holds many weapons and many resources. How did you get in here? Only Sith and Sith blood can get into here.
Smashed our way in.
Yeah.
Possible.
Maybe you're just not as good at this as you thought you were.
The former master of this house, of this fortress, died a long time ago.
Sad. Yep. None of this is enlightening us.
You come to seek a weapon, do you not?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, where is it?
I will grant you 3 weapons.
3.
3's better than 1.
You're not getting all of them, Envy.
The mayor
Wait.
showed me what you wanted. And I can help. It's my duty to serve the Sith. Or should I say, the Seekers.
There you go. That's a familiar term.
Yeah, that's us.
We
Assist.
don't have to dress like you, do we? Because that's kind of a no-go for me. I like looking good, not looking drab.
You already wear the black cloaks. Do not hide your identities.
Yeah, I guess.
Envy transforms into a version of Shigo that also looks like one of these Sith people. And then
like all
goes and
shriveled
Did
stands.
you not learn your lesson?
And then goes and stands right next to her.
For you, the one who attempted to murder me, much to my dismay. The weapon you want, if you can call it that, is in that hole over there. And she nods over to a rift in the floor that you haven't quite seen before. It almost seems to shimmer into view.
Envy transforms back into their human adjacent form, and then will carefully approach this hole.
As you're approaching the hole, she turns to 2B. And for you, well, beautiful.
Perfect.
She looks to 2B and goes, terminal. And she kind of gestures over to the side. Will probably be to your liking.
Thank you. And then I walk towards the terminal.
For you. She looks at Shigo. I have a gift I feel you would most enjoy. Two-pronged, actually. The first, she kind of reaches out of her cloak and produces an emblem of some sort, like a badge.
Shigo takes it.
The Wayfinder. Give it to me.
Envy.
Wait, there's something in this hole.
And we'll start with Envy. Envy, as you kind of descend down to this dark hole, you feel that there's something at the bottom. It's wrapped up.
How big is it?
Is it a person?
Envy's going to very carefully descend, paying close attention, like focusing all of their energy on whatever this wrapped up person is, this package.
Yeah. As you're bringing them back up, I'm guessing?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, as you bring it back up, the person is unmoving. It's like a body more than a person.
Interesting.
Is an empty vessel from long ago. I'm sure it'll look familiar to you.
Envy slowly unwraps the body.
As you see a familiar looking face, seeing a man who is only probably in his early to late 20s with shaggy black hair and a scar running across his face. This is impossible. You just fought this person.
He's dead. I killed him. Pretty damn well, too.
This is Ben Solo.
What?
But you left them alive when you won the world. Like you beat him to shit, but you left them alive.
What is the meaning of this? This is no weapon. This is...
It is a vessel. An empty but a strong one. The one you faced was summoned and is merely a construct of light. This is the original.
The real Ben?
Although his soul has long since departed, I'm sure it will be useful for one of you.
One of us?
I don't know. Who could it be? Possibly the one that shapeshifts and is all that gross stuff? Because I'm pretty good with my form, so I can only guess what you're going to use that for, and I'm going to look away.
I am curious. What can I use this for?
It's an empty vessel.
Yes.
You feel like, knowing you, so there's a lot of things. You could, as the chat is suggesting, you could definitely give it to your partner, Venom.
Yeah.
Who could have a permanent body. You could play,
Yes.
you have, your body now is kind of like, it's a stone at the end of the day. So you could transplant yourself into it and gain its power.
Yes.
And fuse with it.
Okay.
You could also save it for other stuff down the line.
No, Envy's way too selfish for that. So here's what she does. I got this. This is cool. She goes, "It'll be mine." And she or they rather they grab on to their like head at the top and start ripping apart the skin off the top of their head, and like there's squishing and crunching sounds, and Envy's just laughing and all of a sudden just rips themselves in half. Their clothing fall to the ground. There's like a metallic clatter as the Sith Wayfinder sort of clinks to the ground and skitters across the floor a bit. And out of this wreckage comes this little tiny green lizard. This sort of creeps along Envy's corpse over to the body of the scarred body of Ben, and just starts to maneuver under the wrappings a bit, and then the body starts to like twitch for a little bit.
Yeah.
Do all humans do this?
I'm not looking.
Oh, it
the
sounds so
Wayfinder
bad.
bends over and picks up the Wayfinder. I'm still not looking. Oh.
It's gonna take a second as Envy begins to assimilate herself into this empty body.
Yes.
Just the sound of clicking bones and
Yeah.
flesh popping and. Ugh.
You remember when the roach and Men in Black jumped into that guy's body? Like, I don't know if anyone remembers that movie from 2002 or 1.
Dude.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like
The
Envy.
ancient movie from the before times.
Yes, from before the Backstreet reunion tour. Those ages were lost. And as we go to 2B, as Shigo, I'm guessing you're giving the Sith Wayfinder to the Darth Noctius.
Yes.
So 2B, as you look at the terminal, you realize very quickly you are able to access its controls by scanning it. And although you can't hack it like Nines could, you do realize that you can control what looks to be an armada of ships, of robots, the traps and defenses. Even the Citadel itself could move if it wanted to. You found yourself at the control panel for an army.
I guess I found a weapon.
But even more so, you found, kind of deep within the code, there is a link to a signal. Signal that shares a very specific encoding on it. It's that of a black box.
Is it possible to identify if whose black box it belongs to?
Yeah, roll plus heart.
Alright, I rolled an 8 on that. I'm not sure what the modifier is for heart.
So your heart, I believe, it should be +2, so 10. So great success. As you lock onto the signal and start to unscramble, the signal starts to get closer and closer, almost as like you're attracting it. And all of a sudden, is it 9S? But it's not. However, it is a familiar face. As you see Pod 153 floating in the air in front of you. 9S's support unit.
Do I have access to the pod?
Seeing as you're the only Euro unit in the area, yes.
I tried to access the recent logs as to why it's here.
You get garbled transmissions. You get lexicons and encoded messages. You get files decanting of the last bit of thoughts that you had, the journey that you and 9S had, and the only thing it ends with, the only thing you can get out of it is a 3-letter word. The word that says ARC.
ARC. Do I know anything about this?
It doesn't really ring any bells to you. But whatever it is, it has the signature data of 9S. So 9S wrote this.
That might be where 9S is. Well, I assume that with me accessing the terminal, I could now access it in my system.
Yes.
Alright.
You've created the uplink for it.
I think I'm done here.
Given your friend body and power, given her going to be a means to find what she truly wants, and you. And she grabs the Sith Wayfinder and it changes, changing from the color of red to a deep purple. Wayfinder will now point to your greatest desire. Do whatever you want. That is, your nemesis. Is it not correct?
Oh. You've given me a gift that I desperately wanted. Thank you so much. Did you say there was a second part to this, though?
Yes. And you hear footsteps behind you as you see the 6 suits of armor lined up in front of you. Every empress needs henchmen. Do they not?
Oh, you just became my favorite. I'm glad I pulled envy off of you.
I dub thee Shigo Ren, the leader of the Knights of Ren.
Oh, this is delicious.
They thought they could extinguish the darkness here. But I will turn those gifts. I will turn their very heart, their very joy, into agony. I ask that you only deliver unto these worlds, that you finish the what I started.
No problem. Kinda gonna do it anyway, so... Really, what's more incentive?
And as Envy finishes, Envy, do you keep the form of Kylo Ren Ben Solo, or do you transform back into your usual self?
Oh, transform back. Yeah,
you feel a lot stronger. You feel power crackling through you as you raise up a hand and you kind of aim it outwards and you see lightning erupt from it.
Envy's gonna turn the energy at like just one of the random statues and just blast
Blow it up. Yeah.
Just blow it up.
And as you kind of think to yourself of like your new abilities, you feel something land in your hand. A small metallic cylinder. Which has an opening. Yep, as you hear the crackling of the crossguard and the lightsaber erupts. Not the key saber, which we have seen on the show, but the actual real deal lightsaber.
Okay, now I'm jealous. I do want one of those. That's really cool.
Let's go win ourselves a key.
And as you kind of all look to yourselves with your new gifts, your new weapons, the scattered armory of Exegol, what is everyone's plan to do next, starting with Shigo?
I have to pay a little visit to someone, don't I? If that trash wanted to follow me here and make my life miserable, I can pay the gift right back.
Yeah, let's kill us a guardian.
Only one?
To start, let's kill them.
Not like
Let's kill all of them.
Small.
It's time
movie.
to win this war.
And as you activate the fleet, and Exegol begins to move from this realm of darkness closer and closer, we cut the scene as we switch over to another scene happening somewhere far off. The remaining Seekers would be 9 of them, all standing around, surrounding a table. As we look past them and see someone in a much larger robe sitting on a throne and looking to them. The one Seeker turns back and kind of looks. My liege, it seems that the Angry One has found the weapon indeed. And the all the remaining Seekers begin to bicker amongst themselves. And we cut back to the gummy ship, leaving the world of Moana, which had just fallen into darkness thanks to Envy here. And I will give my Seekers one final choice. Now, the group usually gets to decide where they go next, but I don't think that would be fun. I think it'd be interesting if you 3 Seekers here would choose where our group goes next.
The battlefield's our choice. That means we win.
I
Not
do
necessarily-
like having options.
Not necessarily even to be fighting them, but just kind of like out of game, just giving you
Sure.
that choice to influence the campaign for being such amazing guest stars for me today.
Well, thanks.
Cool. That'll be fun.
What are our options?
So, your options are...
Shrek. I'm just kidding.
No, I wish. DreamWorks doesn't count, unfortunately. I tried. you know how memed we would be.
Oh no.
You could send them to a world where they'll be literally turned to vermin. You can send them to a world was lost. A world that is technically lost, but is on the edge of being found again. A world of trash and space. Or you can send them to a bathhouse. Bathhouse for otherworldly creatures.
Bathhouse.
Really?
Bathhouse. Bathhouse.
Okay, you're so emphatic about it. I will go with you.
Bathhouse.
I got your back.
Bathhouse.
Bathhouse.
Well, everyone,
Bathhouse.
with that decision, it looks like you have chosen our group to go to Yubaba's bathhouse as the next world.
Knew it.
As they explore the very popular IP of Ghibli, and the next world will be Spirited Away.
Oh, I'm
Oh
so
my
jealous. I love Spirited Away. It's my favorite
I know.
Miyazaki movie.
It's so
That
good.
will close with cackling, with new powers, with new developments. That will close episode 5X Reverse Exegol. I would like to thank my guest stars immensely for not only putting on amazing production in their costume, but also for the amount of research that everyone apparently did into their characters and into making their voice sound. I know Persephone didn't take too much research, because you are naturally Shigo, as I had said.
Naturally.
Before.
I couldn't actually get Nicole Sullivan's voice down though. I'm very disappointed.
You know what? I
got
think
as
it
close
fits you
as I
just
could.
fine. But please take this time. This is your time. Tell the people what you have going on.
Sure. Why don't you go first, Persephone?
Oh, me? Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I am Persephone, aka Persephoroth. I am a video game variety streamer, TTRPG content creator, cosplayer, model, a bunch of other junk. And you can find me at Persephoroth everywhere online. Most active on Twitter and Twitch. On Twitter, you can see me being a hot mess because I post some really ludicrous stuff all the time. And on Twitch, you can watch me be really bad at video games, but hopefully entertaining. So.
Fantastic. Okay, I can go next. My name is Vanessa Hoskins. I am primarily a tabletop RPG writer for the Paizoverse. I have an Adventure Path volume. The Abomination Vaults Volume 2 comes out this month. It's a 3-part Adventure Path specifically designed for folks that are new to Pathfinder 2nd Edition. So if you're interested in that, check it out. And it starts with the beginner box, actually. The beginner box goes straight into this Adventure Path. So it's pretty cool to learn the system and dive right in. I'm also known for my work on the No Direction Network, the Pathfinder news reviews and interviews network, and we have tons of blog information, so check out No Direction on Twitter and nodirectionpodcast.com. And also for my actual play streaming over at Roll for Combat, where I play Alhara, a circus gymnast, in their actual play 3-Ring Adventure. So. And if you're into Twitch and you love watching people play video games, I also do a Tactics Tuesday on my own channel, where Tuesday nights I play Final Fantasy Tactics and do a lot of silly voices.
Ooh, which one?
I'm playing the PlayStation Portable version.
I see.
Nice.
Oh, War of the Lions.
The War of the Lions, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that one.
So we're only
So
a couple
good.
episodes in, and I'm having a blast. I actually want to play so badly, but like. Either I can just grind, which isn't incredibly wonderful, but like I want to continue, and so I'm just sort of waiting for that to happen. So hopefully soon.
All right. Well, my name is Serena, guys. I am also known as the Overlord. I usually stream Vampire the Masquerade Chronicles. We got 2 chronicles ongoing. One is Midnights in Metro Manila, which is based on like Philippine game of Vampire the Masquerade every Saturday 9 p.m. BST. If you guys are interested, I'm playing as Victoria Hardestat. And then during Tuesday 7 p.m. PST, we stream Call of the Abyss, and I'm playing as Scarlet Leanne. To be honest, like 2B is like the exact opposite of what I usually play. Playing a passive
Yeah,
character.
me too.
Is just like, yeah.
I'm
And I am half
excited about
blind. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but I'm half blind, so I'm like, I can only roll, and that's it.
I appreciate your
I can't
dedication.
see the chat. Yeah, it
I
has
just
been
want
great.
everyone to know that we told Rena that she didn't have to wear the blindfold, and she insisted she did anyway.
So much dedication.
So cheers for her for being a trooper through all of it. Yeah, that was so much fun. I'm so glad we got to do this episode, and I'm so happy that Kingdom Hearts continues to connect me with all these amazing people to expand my network with, and just game with in general. I'm your game master, Noelman Nick. You can find me on Twitter. Go to give me a follow or send me a DM, whatever. I'm always done to talk. I'm usually over at Gehenna Gaming, where, you know what? I'm going to plug that stuff on Gehenna Gaming, where we are planning, which you can actually see from my shirt right here. I'm going to try to stand up just a little bit so I don't fall out. But just enough. Virtual HorrorCon, which is coming not this weekend, but next weekend, starting from the 19th all the way to the 21st. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great.
I'm gonna be there as well.
Yes.
Playing in Morkborg.
Oh, you are? That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, go ahead. There's panels, there's workshops, there are actual plays you can watch. Amazing stuff. I'll be running some stuff as well. You know what? Fuck it, I can say what I'm running. You're gonna catch me. I'm gonna be running two, as well as producing all the stuff because I'm behind the scenes. You're gonna also see me, everyone here, playing in the Contagion Chronicle finale, which is going to take place at 8 p.m. on Friday the 19th. It's going to be awesome. It's the end of our Chronicle Darkness exploration game. We're also going to be running the Alien RPG system, but I'm not running Aliens. I'm running Jurassic Park, and that's going to be awesome.
Am I in that one?
Yes, you are in that one.
I think I am.
Yeah,
okay.
so Persephone will be
Jurassic
joining
Park
us.
never got messaged to me, but I'm happy about that because
So yeah, we're gonna
I heard that-
dinosaurs. We got dinosaurs.
I heard that Jurassic
in the
Park.
house.
I heard that Jurassic Park is frightening in the dark, and that all the dinosaurs are running wild. And
You
that
know
someone let the T-Rex out in the rain.
Yes, that
Ooh,
all that stuff
fun.
can happen. It's gonna be great. Alien RPG System's a great game for any type of horror. So I just love hacking and slashing that. So there's a lot of cool events going on. But not just me. This channel's awesome. You should follow Gehenna Game, but you should definitely follow and subscribe to Carrion Comfort Studio. Wes is awesome. He runs this channel with his own funds and blood money. Don't ask me where how I know that. Just everything he does. Amazing dude. You can see him coming up next on Sunday, where they'll be playing Crack the Sky Alpha, which is awesome. It's got an amazing cast. They just had their first episode, which is record-breaking numbers. Even beat out our first episode. So you know what? Tell all your friends about this. Let's reclaim our throne, because we were the #1 show before this, and I will not stand to be anything less. I envy the clash. Crack.
I'm sorry, what?
Alpha.
Someone's
What'd you
starting
say?
a little friendly channel competition.
Yeah, you know, it's no matter who wins, Carrion Comfort wins. You know, that's how it goes. But I just want to say thank you to Persephone, Vanessa, and Rena for playing. You three were awesome. Thank you for being
this is
good
a blast.
sports.
This is a lot of fun. I'm fucking Sith Lord.
Yeah, and
I've got an army.
and we will
Next
hopefully
goal, get a lightsaber.
we will hopefully be seeing these characters once more. Probably not for the time being, but definitely in the future they will return. So until then, everyone have a great rest of your night. Enjoy, kick back. It's a weekend. It's Valentine's Day weekend. So if you got that special someone, go enjoy. And if you don't, find your single friends. Safely maintain social distancing, or buy yourself something nice, because you gotta
Buy a
love
lot
yourself.
of chocolate.
Or, you know,
better yet, buy
drink-
my single ass chocolate.
Yeah, or drink.
Buy tequila and drink over at Zoom or something, or Discord.
You know what?
Let's go.
I might just do that anyway, because tequila's fucking great. All right.
I know, right?
You all have an amazing rest of your night. Thank you so much. I'll take us off here. Let's get out of here. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.